Ignite videos will have your students actively engaged in learning in your classroom. They're fast, informative, and fun. But I'm not going to tell you how to do it. In fact, your job is to watch this Ignite presentation and figure out the rules for yourself. You'll have about 5 minutes. Two friends, Brady Forrest and Bree Pettis, who as a pair apparently also decided on the official nerd self-portrait stance, came up with the idea for Ignite videos while in Seattle in December of 2006. They wanted to create an icebreaker for a forum sharing new information. There were a few more after that, including one in San Francisco at a high-tech conference run by CNET, a media outlet focused on new tech. Since then, Ignite Talks have been held on a variety of topics in cities across the country, community centers, schools, and conferences. Perhaps you're now thinking, how can I use an Ignite presentation in my classroom? Well, I'm glad you asked. And if you didn't, I'm going to tell you anyway. To produce an Ignite video, the kids will need to develop several skills, including research, problem solving, planning, writing, and public speaking. A project like this is great for review. Kids could certainly work in small, collaborative groups to complete the required tasks. And if you had assigned groups to cover each portion of the unit, you could place the videos in a single playlist for students to learn from. A great facet of this project is that it gives options for personalized learning. A first step of personalized learning is reflection and goal setting. Students could reflect on their current mastery and determine how to fill in the gaps of the knowledge that they have in the content they're supposed to be covering. A second facet of personalized learning is targeted instruction. Kids would need to consider how to effectively convey their message to an audience. They could determine how to best deliver the message to their peers to get the most bang for the buck. A third aspect of personalized learning is collaboration and creativity, and this is truly where an Ignite presentation shines. Students would need to work effectively together to find the material and fill the material into the presentation while still adhering to the rules. As you've probably deduced by now, the rules of an Ignite presentation are simple but inflexible. The speed and simplicity of the format forces those creating the presentation to be creative, thoughtful, and useful about their materials and their choices of imagery. By the way, if you've not yet figured out what the rules for the Ignite video are, you have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to put your clues together for your hypothesis. Tick, tick, tick. The final aspect of personalized learning is flexible path and pace, or the idea that students should have choices in the direction that they want to head to display their mastery. Despite strict rules of an Ignite presentation, which you should have a pretty good handle on by now, tick, 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 the kids still have some options. How will they research? Google Docs, pen and paper, the Notes app? What presentation software will they use? Google Slides, PowerPoint, Keynote? Let's be honest, flexible path and pace is a weak point of Ignite presentations. If you're looking to bolster that part, contact Jason and Jeff, self-promotion. If you're wondering how long it takes to put something like this together, I'm here for you. This presentation, from the beginning to the end, to recording now, took me about 3 hours to put together. The cool part about the project, though, is that the students are doing the work, making the creative decisions, collaborating on the research, reflecting on their needs and their wants in their final product, and developing the presentation. The students have the ownership of the work from the beginning to end, and no two presentations will be alike. That frees you as the teacher to step away from the front of the room and meet with students in small group settings to get a better feel for the understanding of the topic and build those all-important relationships with your students. You create a true learning community in your classroom with these presentations. Obviously, the rules of an Ignite presentation might not work for all students. The time frame in particular might be a challenge for our learners. Hey, we're teachers, bend the rules for your kids as you see fit. Reduce the overall time, cut the number of slides, or change the allocated slide. Nothing, after all, is written in stone, so you can really customize this for your kids. So, take a second. What do you think the rules for an Ignite presentation are? What have you seen? What have you heard? Well, here they are. The Ignite presentation official rules consist of exactly 20 slides. The presentation is set up to auto-advance every 15 seconds, meaning that you really need to think about what you want to say for each and every slide along the way. If you do the math, each presentation is 5 minutes long. They move quickly to convey their ideas. The images are important, and thank goodness you get away from people reading those bullets one at a time. Ugh! You can incorporate sound and video, but the rules don't change. Your video needs to be shorter than 15 seconds, as the slide will change. So, give it a try. Ignite presentations require kids to take ownership of their learning by reflecting on what they do and don't know, collaborating, researching, writing, revising, and public speaking.